Speaking to BBC News, the Tory MP blasted the Prime Minister's approach to the Brexit negotiations as he revealed the EU laws, turned into domestic laws in each member state, are decided behind closed doors and based on the premeditated consensus of Brussels eurocrats. Sir Bill claimed that with Chequers, Theresa May had sinned of the same undemocratic process. He said, by staying in and not going through the current arrangements, what we would be doing would be surrendering ourselves to the problems which exist already, which is in a European Council of Ministers where the laws are made. Those decisions are made in a system that is not just undemocratic, but it's deliberately so. Asked whether the Churchill dictum, democracy is a terrible way of doing it but it's the least terrible way of doing it, applied to this situation, he replied, no. This is not democracy, that's the point I'm making. The decisions are taken behind closed doors, without a transcript, nobody knows what's going on in the meetings. It's either done by a majority vote or normally it isn't. It's done by consensus because they know what the decisions are going to be before they go into the room. Brexit news, Sir Bill Cash claims May's Chequers proposal was imposed undemocratically. Image, BBC Getty. The decisions are taken behind closed doors, without a transcript. Sir Bill Cash. The thing to take on board is the fact that this goes right across the board of all legislation made by the European Union, and some of this it's actually made and delegated to the diplomats around the table who decide these matters in a thing called the Commission of Permanent Representatives. So for practical purposes, we are being governed and the laws are being imposed upon us under the existing system which if we were to remain in the European Union would still apply to us. The problem with the Chequers arrangement, as Joe Johnson rightly points out, it is the fact that under these arrangements, particularly since Chequers and the common rule book on which she bounced the cabinet, they didn't have proper consultations. In fact, they had none. The Prime Minister has struggled to finalise a Brexit deal, with the Irish border remaining the major sticking point in negotiations. Britain rejected the European Union's proposed backstop, over fears it could create a border down the middle of the Irish Sea. The UK is reportedly considering to agree to a backstop, which would effectively keep the whole of the UK in the EU's customs union, should future negotiations on a trading relationship break down. But the British government is pushing for the right to withdraw from this backstop, to stop it from becoming a permanent relationship. This week ministers were invited by the Cabinet Office in Whitehall to view a near-complete draft of the proposed EU withdrawal agreement. The document, which they say in strict secrecy and were not allowed to take copies of, is believed to contain the 95% of the exit deal Mrs. May says has been agreed with Brussels. But it is not believed to have included the proposed Irish border solution.